Last year, Brad and Angelina, we mentioned this, they co-starred in By the Sea. It was directed by Angelina, of course, and as you mentioned, it centered on a couple trying to repair their failing marriage. Jolie directed the film. They worked together for months and months. As what you mentioned, it was something sort of like their honeymoon. But now that, let's revisit that a second when you look back on it. I remember there being sort of almost cheeky, funny headlines about the content of the movie and whatever, like, oh, what does this mean, whatever. But nothing really came of those headlines at the time, and now you look back in hindsight and wonder if there was maybe more in the core of some of those.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to laugh their way through it, and I have a feeling that many more people are going to go back and watch that film now in the wake of this news, and maybe we'll try to read between some lines. But, you know, I don't think, you know, clearly with this much at stake, with the lives of 6 children being impacted, I think it would be a little too simplistic to point at a film and say that that's what caused, you know, a rift. What's interesting is, though, it wasn't just roles they were playing. She was directing it, you know, she wrote it. So this was a film that she, you know, that very much was personal to her and came from a very personal place in her own life. Now, she had said that it was in part influenced by the fact that her parents had divorced, that her parents had a notoriously awful marriage. But you do have to wonder at what fuels somebody to throw themselves into a project like that and to cast their own husband as the spouse in it. It was certainly intense. It was not Mr. and Mrs. Smith Part 2, which I think
was not.
A lot of people might have been hoping for.
Anyway, and yeah, you look at that and you kind of wonder if in some ways, you know, because they've been so busy on different projects over the same course of time, if it was almost an attempt to continue the work, but yet, you know, stay together, maybe work through some of the things they've been going through. Who knows? Here's the question for you. Moving forward now, a day like today, the news breaks. It's a huge sort of big moment. What do we predict? How are things going to play out over the coming days, based on what you've seen happen in the past?
What I've seen happen in the past, I mean, it will go one of two ways. If Angie and Brad stick to their scripts and stick to what they have said they want this to be, which is, you know, privacy to be maintained. That's what every couple in this situation wants. And this note of mutual sadness. It's a word we're hearing a lot from Brad's camp, how incredibly sad this all is. This could perhaps be, you know, a fairly clean break. It is rare, however, that sources close to, that other outsiders, that people with something to say will not begin to float theories or ideas about other things that could have been involved. And it just remains to be seen whether or not enough noise will build to lend credence to some of those theories. I can tell you right now, one theory that's been circulated quite a bit is the idea that Brad's upcoming co-star in the movie Allied, Marion Cotillard, is somehow a third party in all of this. Various outlets have reported that there are rumors of an affair on Brad's part. We now have it on very good authority that a source close to the situation says she is not a factor. This is not a Marion Cotillard situation. So already that's one rumor that's being put out there. I would be stunned if there are not more to come. It seems, sadly, as if quite often there are. But it remains to be seen what new twist is right around the bend.
Well, we see photos of them on set there together. It's the kind of thing that, you know, it's almost like in that furious, like looking for something.
Exactly.
Oh, they were together.
He's starring in a very sexy movie with her. She has an Angelina-like quality. The trailer, you know, has gotten a ton of views just because of how steamy it is. It's a logical, natural conclusion that bystanders would jump to, but sources close to the situation say it's really not true.
There we have it. Thank you, Kate Coyne. We really appreciate all the info. And guys, of course, you can stay on people.com for all the latest on this story.